Raise your hand if you've got a bucket list tucked away somewhere. A notebook, a notes app, the back of an old diary that you wrote years ago and haven't looked at since. Yeah, same. And when was the last time you actually looked at it? Let's talk about why that list might be quietly lying to you. Here's the thing nobody tells you about bucket lists. They were written by someone, not metaphorically, literally, a specific version of you at a specific age with a specific body, specific relationships, and a specific sense of what mattered. And that person doesn't fully exist anymore. You've changed shape since then, sometimes literally, but definitely emotionally. I'll embarrass myself slightly here. Somewhere on an old list of mine, written in what I can only assume was a moment of misplaced madness, was learn to surf. I do not want to learn to surf. I'm not sure I ever really did, and honestly, I don't even really like cold water. I think I wanted to be the kind of person who learned to surf, which is a completely different thing. But it's been sitting on that bucket list for years, unexamined, just taking up space and making me feel vaguely guilty every time I glanced at it. As you're listening here today, I'd love you to think about your own version of my surfing lesson. And that's what I mean by a chuck it list. Not items you've deliberately decided against, but items you've never actually revisited. They just sit there, inherited from an earlier you, doing nothing except making you feel like you're falling behind on a life you might not even want. Sometimes we don't write a bucket list for the life we want, we write it for the person we hope we'll become in the future. And here's why that's not just a harmless quirk, it's actually a bit of a problem. An unrevisited bucket list isn't aspiration, it's outdated admin. It's like keeping a to-do list from a job you left 3 years ago and feeling bad you haven't done the tasks on it. I'm not telling you to scrap your list today, that's not quite this video, and we'll get to the proper version of that conversation later in the series with an actual process for working through it properly. What I want you to do right now is simpler. Just notice. Pull up your bucket list wherever it's hiding and notice which items still genuinely pull at you. Don't cross anything off it yet. So, if the list was written by someone else, the question underneath all of this is, what's actually changed since they wrote it? And that's where we're heading next, because there's a lot that changes in this stage of life that nobody really prepares you for. I'll see you there. And if this video gave you something to think about, I send a Sunday reflections note to subscribers. It's usually a 5-minute read with a reflection that didn't make it into the video, one journal question, and a link to anything I've created that might help. I'd love you to join us, and I'll link it below. I'll see you soon.